If y'all thought that the feds were done with Diddy, you better think again, because according to Jaguar Wright, they are now going after some of his industry connections in an attempt to get them to turn on Diddy. And Busta Rhymes is allegedly one of the first people to flip on Diddy, and he flipped hard. And before y'all come at Busta for being a snitch, it wasn't exactly his fault, because according to Jaguar, he was pretty much blackmailed into doing so by the feds. They allegedly got dirt of him being on the DL, and it is not looking good. A few months ago, Busta Rhymes' former bodyguard, Big Homie CC, dropped some bombshell revelations about his ex-boss. According to him, Busta had been into fun boys for years, and this wasn't exactly a secret. In fact, Big Homie claimed that the club scene was well aware of it, and promoters would allegedly arrange for young men to entertain Busta in the VIP section whenever he rolled through. Now things just got even messier. The latest rumor floating around is that there's supposedly footage of Busta and Diddy at one of Diddy's notorious parties, engaging in what some are calling a full-blown freak-off with multiple men that Diddy allegedly paid to be there. Jaguar Wright has now entered the chat claiming that federal investigators have witnesses who accused Busta of making unwanted advances. These individuals allegedly said that he pressured them into partying with him, but not in the usual drinks and music sense, more like in the Diddy's secret after-hours activities kind of way. With all eyes already on Diddy and his alleged antics, it's looking like Busta might be the next one in the hot seat. Let's unpack this mess. If you didn't catch the latest round of explosive revelations, Busta Rhymes' former bodyguard, Big Homie CC, just sat down for an interview on the art of dialogue and dropped some serious allegations. He didn't sugarcoat a thing, outright calling Busta zesty, and claiming the rapper had a long history of eyebrow-raising encounters with young men during his prime. Big Homie made it clear that while this might come as a shock to some, it was far from a secret in certain circles. According to him, those in the industry, especially club promoters, had been aware of Busta's alleged preferences for years. Whenever he was set to make an appearance at a party or event, promoters supposedly made sure everything was arranged to his liking. That meant having a selection of attractive young men on standby in the VIP section, ready to keep him entertained for the night. These claims, if true, paint a very different picture of the public persona Busta has maintained over the years. While he has always presented himself as hyper-masculine and aggressive, particularly in his music and public appearances, Big Homie's allegations suggest there was a whole other side to him that was carefully kept out of the spotlight. And if the industry really knew all along, it raises the question: how much more has been swept under the rug? Oh, the tea gets even hotter! Big Homie CC didn't stop there. He went on to spill details about a particular night in the club that involved actor and model Don Benjamin along with one of Don's friends who happened to be gay. According to Big Homie, the moment Busta Rhymes laid eyes on this guy, it was like a switch flipped. Suddenly, it was game on. Big Homie claimed that Busta's energy shifted the second he spotted the man, and from that moment on, he was fully locked in. Apparently, Busta made it a point to engage, giving off a vibe that was anything but casual. Big Homie suggested that the rapper wasn't just being friendly, he was allegedly making his interest very clear. Big Homie claimed that Busta didn't hesitate for a second. He immediately pulled the guy into his VIP section and made sure he stayed right by his side. According to him, Busta was all over the man, keeping him close the entire night and making it clear he wasn't about to let this one slip away. But if you thought this was just a one-time thing, think again. Big Homie revealed that this was far from an isolated incident. In fact, he claimed it was a well-known routine. Anytime Busta hit up the club, promoters allegedly knew exactly what to do: find the most attractive young men in the building and send them straight to his section. Once Busta had his sights set on someone, it was a thought the tea couldn't get any hotter. Big Homie took it up another notch. He claimed that Busta couldn't stop raving about how cute the guy was, making it crystal clear that he was feeling him. Once Busta had him in his VIP section, there was no chance he was letting him go. According to Big Homie, Busta was practically glued to the man's side the entire night, making sure he stayed put. Every move he made, Busta was right there, locked in and fully engaged. It wasn't just casual party chatter. Big Homie suggested that Busta's interest was intense and undeniable. But Big Homie wasn't done spilling. He claimed that most people in the industry had been aware of Busta's preferences for over a decade. When asked why no one had ever put him on blast, Big Homie had a simple answer: everyone wanted access to that exclusive VIP section. According to him, being in Busta's circle came with perks, and a lot of folks were willing to stay quiet just to keep that access. Then, Big Homie dropped something even more eye-opening. He alleged that Busta had a long history of snapping at women, a pattern that somehow never got much attention. while Busta's aggressive outbursts toward men were well documented. His behavior toward women seemed to fly under the radar. And according to Big Homie, there might be a deeper reason for that. He hinted that, like many men who live on the down low, Busta could be harboring some resentment toward women. Whether it stemmed from personal struggles, internalized issues, or something else entirely, Big Homie suggested that Busta's alleged attitude toward women might not be just a coincidence. It could be a reflection of something much deeper. This is just one ex-bodyguard trying to stir the pot. Think again. There's actually a whole lineup of men who have come forward over the years with their own jaw-dropping stories about Busta Rhymes. Take social media personality, Trip Ali, for example. Back in 2020, he posted a video on his YouTube channel claiming that Busta tried to pick him up while he was walking through NYC on his way to a Halloween party. According to Trip, the rapper didn't waste any time making his interests known, and the whole interaction left him stunned. Trip's story raised quite a few eyebrows at the time, but it quickly got swept under the rug, just like most rumors about Busta's alleged nightlife escapades. But now, with Big Homie CC's claims adding more fuel to the fire, it's looking like these whispers might have some weight to them after all. And if more people start speaking up, Busta might find himself facing questions he spent years avoiding. Ali recalled that Busta invited him to join his VIP section at a club, and at first, Trip was all in, thinking it was just going to be a regular night out with the usual party vibes. But little did he know, things were about to take a very unexpected turn. Once Trip made his way into the VIP, he said Busta's behavior shifted fast. What seemed like an innocent invitation quickly turned into a much more intense situation, with Busta's actions making it clear that this wasn't just about hanging out. Trip claimed that Busta's advances came on strong, catching him completely off guard. Instead of a typical night of partying and mingling, Trip found himself in an uncomfortable position, one he wasn't expecting from the moment he stepped into that section. Wild turn when Trip got into a heated argument with his friend, who wasn't exactly thrilled about the idea of hitting up Busta's party. The disagreement quickly escalated into a full-blown physical fight, leaving Trip so shaken that he decided to ditch the whole club plan altogether. But that wasn't the end of it. Trip's night took a further twist when his friend's reckless behavior led to them getting stranded in the middle of NYC with no way to get home. Honestly, though, maybe his friend did him a solid. Who knows what kind of chaos could have gone down if Trip had actually made it into Busta's VIP section. With everything that's been said about those nights behind closed doors, maybe it was a blessing in disguise that things went left. What was supposed to be a regular night out quickly turned into an unpredictable mess, and who knows how far that would have gone if he hadn't pulled the plug. Fast forward to 2021, and the rumors about Busta Rhymes were swirling once again, with whispers that he was back on the prowl, allegedly trying to pick up men. The streets were talking, but things took an even juicier turn when the paparazzi supposedly caught Busta leaving a gay pride event with a trans woman, adding more fuel to the already blazing fire. This moment sent shockwaves through the media, raising more questions and fueling speculation about Busta's private life. With the paparazzi snapping photos, it was hard for him to deny the attention he was drawing. The timing couldn't have been more perfect for the rumors to resurface, and now, with this added sighting, the story only seemed to grow bigger and more complex. Let's set the record straight. Busta's isn't the issue. It's the unsettling rumors about him allegedly crossing boundaries and engaging in behavior without others' consent that raise serious concerns. But that's not even the whole story. There's also his history of getting physical with others over what seem like trivial matters, and that's where things get a little more troubling. Busta's legal troubles date back to 2006, when he allegedly put paws on a man for spitting on his car. That incident wasn't just left in the past. Later that year, prosecutors even tried to charge him with possession of a weapon connected to the altercation. And here's the kicker. Billboard reported that Busta had a machete in his vehicle. The whole situation added even more layers to his already chaotic reputation. While people have been focusing on the rumors about his private life, this violent streak and his tendency to escalate situations have been lurking in the background for years. Fast forward to 2007, and Busta found himself in hot water once again. This time he was arrested and charged with a misdemeanor after allegedly roughing up his former driver over a money dispute. Busta eventually pleaded guilty to the charges and was handed 3 years of probation. But the drama didn't stop there. In 2009, the New York Post reported that Busta was forced to pay $75,000 to a fan who claimed Busta threw water bottles at him and had his bodyguard punch him in the face. The story was wild, especially when you hear the fan's side. According to him, he wasn't even causing any trouble. He said he was just trying to leave Busta's concert after discovering that Fabulous wasn't going to perform as he had hoped. As he was heading out, Busta apparently lost it telling the fan, "Get down," and asking, "I'm not good enough for you." That's when things escalated. Busta allegedly splashed the fan with water, threw 2 more bottles at him, and then, just when you thought it couldn't get worse, his bodyguard stepped in and punched the fan right in the face. The fan later filed the lawsuit, which led to Busta's hefty payout. Knowing Busta's temper, it honestly makes a lot of sense why he's been tight with Diddy all these years. Their shared anger issues and fiery personalities seem to create a bond between them that's hard to ignore. But beyond their volatile tempers, it appears that Busta and Diddy might have something else in common, a taste for much younger men. You've already heard Big Homie CC's claims that Busta often had his crew scout out young guys to bring back to his VIP section. Well, if that wasn't enough, the rumors keep piling up. Now, there's word on the street that footage is making the rounds online showing Diddy and Busta in a wild freak-off session with a group of male adult workers. And just to add another layer of drama to the situation, a couple of months back, Orlando Brown came forward with some seriously wild claims. He said on camera that he had hooked up with several big-name rappers, including Diddy, Busta Rhymes, Drake, Bow Wow, and a few others. Now, we all know Orlando Brown isn't exactly the most reliable source. With his history of substance use and a string of wild antics, many fans have been quick to dismiss his claims, brushing them off as just another one of his bizarre rants. When he first started dropping these shocking allegations about the music industry, most people just shrugged, thinking it was typical Orlando behavior. But here's the twist. Now that Diddy is facing some serious charges, people are starting to connect the dots, and suddenly, Orlando's stories don't seem quite as outlandish as they once did. Over the past few years, Orlando has made headlines with his viral interviews, and he's brought up Diddy more than once, often in ways that made fans wonder if there might be more truth to his words than they initially thought. Given the way things are unfolding with Diddy, Orlando's once dismissed tales are starting to look a lot more plausible. Could he have been trying to spill the tea long before anyone took him seriously?